You said save yourself, fall out of love. And I'm drunk just off your eyes, rest the flies between your thighs. I'll shoot the angels from the skies, clip their wings and watch them die.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Alan's Horror World. My name is Alan, of course, you guys already know that. So welcome to my final review of the Scream franchise with the newest movie, at least until next year when the 6th movie ends up coming out. So this is the newest one that we're filming for, obviously, my series of reviews of this franchise. So for now, this is the final installment. And then you'll get nothing but Friday the 13th videos for the next few weeks, starting with part 3 onward, because I already reviewed part 2 yesterday. So I hope you'll be looking forward to those reviews, and hopefully tomorrow you'll be getting my ranking of this franchise, and it won't be a very long video. It'll just maybe be like a minute or two long, because I feel like it's more simpler than just sitting down for 30 minutes and ranking the entire franchise. But without further ado, cutting right to the chase, let's go ahead and review Scream 5. So Scream 5 stars Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Jack Quaid, Mason Gooding, Dylan Minnette, Sonia Amar, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mikey Madison, Marley Shelton, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Nev Campbell, and is directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. This was the first Scream movie to be released after over 11 years. Pretty much, 11 years since the 4th movie. And this was also the first movie not directed by Wes Craven because of his unfortunate passing 7 years ago. 25 years after a streak of brutal murders shocked the quiet town of Woodsboro, California, a new killer dons the Ghostface mask and begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadly past. No, seriously, that's the entire plot synopsis of this movie. Really short and sweet, to be honest. So, I never expected there to be a new Scream movie until 2020 hit, and of course COVID happened. And I think this was when the movie was officially announced. No, I think it was 2019 when this movie was officially announced, but I can't remember for the life of me. But I really wasn't expecting a new movie because of Wes Craven's passing, because I thought they were never going to do another one since he died. And because they were probably like, Wes Craven wouldn't have wanted that and blah, 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 blah. But fortunately enough for me and most of us, we did get a new movie. I was really worried because this was not going to be directed by Craven. I was admittedly concerned about what they were going to do, and when I first heard there wasn't going to be any meta nature at all and that Kevin Williamson was not writing it, yes, I was kind of scared as to how this movie would turn out, but luckily, as I will go ahead and share my thoughts on this movie, I ended up really loving this movie. Like, this movie is amazing. So let's go ahead and get into my positives of Scream 5. First off, the directors, Matt and Tyler, really honor Wes Craven's legacy here and actually tribute this film to him in a really thoughtful and respectful way. They don't outright copy him, but they make this one feel like a Wes Craven movie, which I actually think is this movie's benefit. It feels like a Wes Craven movie, even though he didn't direct this one, because of course he's dead. But Matt and Tyler really went out of their way to honor him in the best way they could, even though they never met him. They really respected his craft and his love for movies and his astounding direction in almost every single one of his movies. And they wanted to respect that. They wanted to honor him in a really good way, and I actually think they really did in this movie. And this really does feel like a Wes Craven movie, to be honest, even though Kevin Williamson did not write it at all. Marco Beltrami didn't do the score this time around, and certainly he didn't direct the movie. So I still feel like this was done very well, and it really honored Wes in a great way. Secondly, the characters of this new generation are really likable. I really like all of them. I love Tara, I love Wes and Richie and Amber, and especially Mindy and Chad. I love them. Now, unlike some people who literally bully this actress, I actually really enjoy Melissa Barrera as Sam. Now, she's not amazing in the movie, but she's certainly great. She's great throughout the entire movie, and she has some of the best moments of the movie, and even some of the best moments of the franchise here. And I really do like her in this movie. She's not my favorite actor in the movie, but I still love her in this movie. Now, guys, you need to quit bullying her. She did nothing to you. Quit bullying her. There are literally people on Twitter who literally bully Melissa Barrera. Now, I understand if you don't like Sam that much. That I get. And, like, maybe Melissa Barrera, maybe you don't like her performance in the movie. That's fine. But literally bullying her? Freaking really? No. Don't do that. Like, I've seen people literally be racist towards her because she's a Mexican actress. Like, some people have literally been racist to her. Like, no. If you are one of those people, get out of my community. Like, this channel for me is a community of people that I have grown to love over the course of 4 years. If you are going to the point that you are hating on Melissa Barrera and are being racist to her, you're not part of my community. Get out. Get out. And if I see any person comment hating on her, your comment will be deleted and you will be blocked from my channel. No questions asked. I do not care anymore. Your comment will be deleted and you will be blocked from my channel. That's all I will say about that. I love Melissa Barrera in this movie. Moving the heck on. Next, the opening of this movie is petrifying. This opening scared the crap out of me in cinemas, and it's still scary now. Now, yes, it's a carbon copy of the opening of the original, but Matt and Tyler put their unique spin on it because, spoiler alert, Tara actually survives the opening. She is the first person of the franchise to survive an opening scene. So I'm actually glad they went in that direction and did not do an opening kill. The first death in the movie is actually Kyle Gallner. He's the first death in the movie, which is like 20 minutes in even, which is crazy. Like, there isn't a single kill for 20 minutes of the movie because Tara lives, and I really like that. I really do like that about this movie. Next, the acting in this movie is incredible all throughout. Every actor gives their A game and is not playing around this time. They want to give it their all, and they really did in this movie. Specifically, Jenna Ortega as Tara Carpenter. I love her to death in this movie. She is an amazing young actress. Like, she has really great potential to be a horror icon of this horror community. Like, she is becoming the scream queen of the 2020s because she was also an X, which I also heard she was amazing in. And, like, she's been in a ton of horror movies lately, like Babysitter Killer Queen, this, and X. Like, she's becoming a scream queen. She's becoming, like, to the levels of Neve Campbell, of Jamie Lee Curtis, of Heather Langenkamp. She's going to that level, and I really respect that. And I'm so glad that Tara lived in this movie so I can see more of Jenna's talent in this movie. But everyone else, like Dylan Minnette, Mason Gooding, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and, like, even the main three, they're amazing in this movie. I really love them here, and I cannot wait to see, like, the survivors of this movie. I cannot wait to see them in the next movie to see more of their talent. Fifth, Dewey is my favorite part of the movie. I love Dewey in this movie. David Arquette not only brought his A game to his performance, but made Dewey a much different character than he is in the first 4 films. In the first 4 films, he's a goofy klutz who... He's just a goofy kind of character. Basically, you could say the comic relief of all 4 films. I loved Dewey in those movies, but he's the same in every single movie. He is kind of an idiot. He's kind of stupid throughout all the movies. I mean, he has his moments where he's really smart, but he's just a goofy klutz who messes up all the time. Dewey in this movie is more paranoid, he's more stern, he's rough and gruffer, and he no longer gives a crap. He no longer gives a single crap about what is going on around him. He even refuses to help the new kids at first. He refuses to help them until he calls Sydney and she's like, whoever the killer's after, I'm glad they have you to protect them. And that motivates him to actually help them, and spoilers, unfortunately, leads to his death halfway through. And that will transition to my next positive. Next, this is the only Scream movie to actually make me cry like a baby. The original movie, like the opening, made me tear up, but this movie literally made me bawl like an infant. Specifically because of Dewey's death, because I was so attached to his character. I am that attached to the main 3, so when I saw him die, it really hurt. It really broke my heart to see him die. And I really hope it doesn't hurt the franchise going forward, but I do have to admit it was time to see one of the main three go, because I was kind of tired of all of them surviving every movie, but seeing Dewey go was really sad. So, but I do give this movie a thumbs up for actually making me feel things and making me cry, and yeah, having my cold black heart actually be full for once with emotions. Finally, Sydney and Gale are not in this movie as much as most Scream fans would wish, but I prefer quality screen time over quantity screen time. I love them in this movie. They are freaking awesome. Sydney has developed much more since Scream 4 than she was throughout Scream 4. Sydney now is married, she has 3 kids, and yeah, she has a family now, and that matters more to her than helping others, but she wants to help the new kids. She's like Nancy from Nightmare 3, except she doesn't die in this movie like Nancy did in Nightmare 3, but she has more of a mentor role in this movie. And Gale has developed much more. She's still a news reporter. She and Dewey got divorced after Scream 4. That was on Dewey's part, not hers. And her scenes with Dewey are some of the most emotional scenes in the movie, because it makes you realize she has truly become a good person, and she really cares about Dewey and Sydney. And her relationship with Sydney in this movie is now at the top. They are finally true friends, and they truly care about each other. They no longer hate one another, and it's so beautiful to watch. Like, the development their characters go on in these 5 movies is really bittersweet and beautiful to watch, to be honest. And I really love that in this movie. I really do. Now on to my mixed elements, which I only have one, and that's the motivation of the killers in this movie. Now, on one hand, spoiler alert, Richie and Amber are the killers. But on one hand, while their reveal was absolutely shocking to me, I did not suspect them, because I was more focused on how entertaining the movie was. I wasn't focused on who the killers were, to be honest. So it actually shocked me when I found out that the killers were Amber and Richie. Although I was starting to suspect Richie, but then I was like, they wouldn't do the boyfriend thing again. Nope, they did. Well, on one hand, I was shocked that they were the killers, and they're great ghost faces, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of their motivation. It's about toxic fandom. I like the motivation, but like, it's just not developed enough about how they hated the recent Stab movie directed by Rian Johnson, of all people. Of all people, he directs Stab 8. They hated it, so they want to make a true Stab sequel, because according to Richie, no one has made a great Stab movie since the first one, and they want to make the first great one since that first movie. Well, your plan fails because you end up dying in the end, but I don't know. I think the motivation should have been handled better, and it should have been fleshed out more instead of just being briefly mentioned, like how the fandom is so toxic. And the entire time that they're explaining it, I'm just like, people, you are the reason why fandoms are so toxic. It's because of you. Now on to my one negative with this movie. This movie is a little too fast-paced. I think the movie should have been a tad longer, and maybe it shouldn't have been so quick, like every scene's just like bam, 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 bam. It's just like, at one after the other, but I wish it would have been a little longer, so maybe it'd be fleshed out a bit more, maybe have a little bit of a slower pace, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I can handle the fast-pacedness of this movie. I can handle it quite well, actually. I just wish maybe it were a little longer. It's kind of like Friday the 13th Part 2, where I feel it's a little too fast-paced. Wish it were a little longer to maybe flesh out the characters more, maybe have a few slower scenes. I wish that happened, but it's not the biggest negative in the world, to be honest. And it doesn't really bother me that much. So overall, guys, Scream 2022, or Scream 5, is amazing. It's a great sequel. It's a great return to form for the franchise. I know a lot of people would disagree and say this is the worst one, but it isn't. I'm going to go ahead and give away where this falls in my ranking. It's my second favorite behind the first movie. This is my favorite sequel of the franchise. I adore this movie to pieces. It's amazing. I've only seen it twice, but I love this movie. I'm insanely glad that this movie was made and that Matt and Tyler wanted to make this movie and they wanted to honor Wes's legacy. And I believe they did that in a great way. I really think they honored him perfectly in this movie and tributed this movie to him beautifully. I think they did it in a very excellent way. And I admire that about them. And I'm so excited to see where the next movie goes, because Kirby is coming back. So I am so excited to see where these new characters are going to go. I wonder if Sydney and Gale, like, how much they're going to be in it. I am just excited to see where Scream 6 will go in regards to this new trilogy. If there's going to be a new trilogy, I'm excited to see where this will go. And one more thing, Wes Craven would be freaking proud of you guys. Matt and Tyler, he would be so proud of you. If you ever end up watching this video, Wes would be insanely proud of you. I'm going to give Scream 5 an A. So what do you guys think of Scream 5? Let me know in the comments below. Do you love this movie? Do you hate this movie? We can debate about it in replies and everything else. Are you excited for Scream 6 and the fact that Kirby will be involved? And are you just excited to where the rest of this franchise is going to go now that Wes Craven is no longer helming this series? Go ahead and let me know. And just let me know, like, what you hope to see in Scream 6. Because that would be very interesting to know. Because I've seen so many premises for Scream 6 and Scream 7 that I actually really liked. So, go ahead and tell me, like, what you're excited to see in the next movie. Or if you even want a Scream 6. So, yeah. So anyways, be looking forward to my ranking of this franchise, hopefully coming out tomorrow. And be looking forward to my reviews of the rest of the Friday the 13th franchise from 3 onwards, starting tomorrow. And just, sorry about that. And just continuing onward. Just be looking forward to those, because I'm actually really excited to get back into those movies and give them justice. Because my mind has significantly changed on a few movies since those reviews 3 years ago. My opinions on some of those movies have drastically changed. Like, some of the movies that I adored, I'm not a fan of now. And one of them, you'll be finding out pretty soon. So be looking forward to those. And also, go ahead and drop a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell to get all further notifications for this channel, because YouTube doesn't always recommend. So anyways, guys, I guess that's pretty much it. So anyways, I'm Madeline. This is Alan's Horror World. Of course, you guys already know that I love all you guys to death. And until next time,